Oh, we're here. What's up, you filthy animals? Getting this started just a couple minutes early here. Said I was going to go live at 9 o'clock. I'm just going to kind of hang out and let you file in here real quick, and then we'll get started here. Don't worry, you're not going to have to sit here and look at the backdrop of my daughter's bedroom here the whole time. I'm going to throw up the podcast thumbnail just for kind of something for you to look at other than a messy bedroom. I need to set up some kind of like studio with like a green screen or something. That'd be really ideal for this kind of thing. But until then, this is what you get. How's everybody doing this morning? It's like we're up to 9 viewers. Probably start about 9:05-ish, somewhere around in there. What's up, Jack? How you doing, buddy? ISPS International. What's up, guys? Yeah. I thought it'd be kind of cool to maybe do these in the mornings. It kind of works out with me working midnights. I can do this stuff, maybe get you guys something to listen to in the mornings, whether you're on the way to work, getting ready for work, or, you know, starting your day at work. What's up, Dane? I've got my phone down here playing in the corner just to kind of monitor my audio and stuff. Can you guys hear that feedback at all? Like, are you hearing me talk twice? Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. Noel Gunter wants to know why the OGZs are so expensive. It's kind of one of those things. They carry a lot of hype. They're good. They're really good. Don't get me wrong. At the time, they were one of the best bats around. I mean, they still perform with anything out there, no doubt about it. I'll say that for sure. So the reason they're still so expensive, though, is no reason other than just the hype and people demanding that price because they know they'll get it from somebody that'll, I guess you could say, be blinded by the hype or whatever else. They don't perform better than anything that's out there now, but there's no doubt that they're just as good as everything else out there. Still live. Okay, something wrong with my phone then. Yeah, Jack says the new Z's are just as good as the old LS2X. I would agree with that. There's no doubt they're good performers as well. I don't think they're quite to that OGZ level. Obviously a lot can change in technology from one point to another, but I do feel like they're close though, for sure. I'm really anxious to swing the rest of the Z's. I got my review in on the Z5. I really want to try the Z1000s for this year and see what's up with those. Hoping to do that probably one day this week, if not this weekend sometime. About 5 more minutes, we'll be ready to rock and roll here. I don't mind chatting with you guys for a minute if that's cool with you guys. Just kind of give everybody a chance to get filed in here. Hey, Adam, what's up, buddy? Adam, I'm gonna go Fortnite for a minute here for the love of the viewers here. You have you seen the new Respawn van that got released this morning? Inspected Dex wants to know what's my favorite Anarchy bat. As of right now, I haven't swung a ton of them, but no doubt it'd have to be the Demon for sure. What's up, Dylan Walsh? Any feedback on the reissue of the Worth EST Comp XL in load? Just as good as the original. I mean, it's hard telling, dude. I'm going to assume that it's going to perform just the same as everything else that's out there. Mikan from, pretty much when they started their two-piece line with the legits and moving forward, all that stuff is incredible. Some take a little bit more to break in than others, but once they all get fully broken in, they all perform great. You can't go wrong with any of them. Joe Lutz right now is asking, he doesn't know what bat to buy, what's the best performer. As far as U-Trip goes, at least for the last 2 years, pretty much your top-tier bats are going to be Easton, Mikan, and Worth. DeMarini has had a couple good ones in there too. They all perform practically identical. It's just going to come down to what fits you. Balance, in-load, big barrel, short barrel. There's something out there for everyone. The U-Trip is so good right now. Every bat is so good. It's kind of a loaded question to say the hottest bat or the best bat. I'll get into that here in a minute. It's actually one of my topics for the podcast. Jordan, hottest bat of 2021. That's what it feels like, man. Tarts 18 wants to know, did I ever swing the Easton Baker? I didn't swing last year's. I swung the 17 model, though, and it was very good. Yeah, Joe, the Fireflex stuff is great. I'm sure I've seen the limited edition Fireflex too, Dylan. There's so many Easton exclusives right now. I like Easton. I think they make a great product. But, God, I mean, they're just exclusive this, exclusive that. I mean, it's paying, it's paying them, and they're making money off of those. People are buying them, so why not just keep pumping them out? But, man, it's hard to keep up. It really is. Garnet Polson wants to know if I've heard anything about the Monster U-Trip model. I haven't heard a thing. I don't really keep up with Monster, so I can't really help you very much there. All right, so I think I'm just going to get rolling here. Let's see. Go ahead and transition into this to get you away from my ugly face. Start covering some of these topics here. What is up, guys? BP Hero Podcast. Season 4, Episode 4. I'm a little bit late on this podcast. I wanted to get it done last week. I kept thinking I was going to get it done and get a chance to do it, but I didn't. So I am about a week behind, so I'm probably going to do this one today. I'm trying to do like every 2 weeks just to kind of keep consistent with the content for you guys. So I'm going to do this one today and then probably try and roll one out next week as well. I don't know what day, but, just to kind of stay on the 2 week schedule. This one's late, and then just pick it up from there and keep rolling. Got a few different things I want to talk about today. Went and played ball this weekend, and sorry, I got distracted there for a second. So anyway, went and played some softball this weekend, and it was quite an experience. I'm not gonna lie. I know some of my new teammates from my new team listen to the podcast. So I don't know if they're here watching or anything like that, or if they'll chime in later or whatever. But it was an adventure for me this weekend. Kind of made me realize, sometimes I do put a little bit too much pressure on myself as far as expectations go. I kind of feel like maybe I'm held to the standard of, BP Hero shows up at the ballpark and he's expected to bat 1,000. I think I put that pressure on myself. I don't know what other people expect of me, but I feel like that's what is expected of me. So I put a lot of pressure on myself. I started out the day absolutely horrible. I think it's a hit into a double play my first at bat. And I think I might have grounded out to the shortstop in my next at bat. I mean, I was so far out in front of the ball. I mean, I was barely getting anything on him in camp and everything. But finally, I just kind of realized, look, dude, you've got to settle down. Kind of settle in, get in a groove, and just do what's good for you. And I was so worried about, placing the ball here, placing the ball there. Transitioning from ASA to U-Trip is something that I kind of struggle with. I play 90% ASA, and I'm actually going to make the change and play a little more U-Trip this year, probably mostly U-Trip as far as tournament ball goes. So that's been a bit of an adjustment. It took me a minute to get adjusted to the flatter pitch in what works for me as far as that goes. But once I kind of settled in and found a groove, about halfway through the second game, had a couple of better at-bats, and then just kind of worked my way through it. I think I just put too much pressure on myself. I don't know. I mean, what would you guys think? You see the BP Hero at the ballpark, and maybe I do this to myself with how I edit my videos and that kind of thing. Because when you edit the videos, every ball's a good ball and that kind of thing. But part of the reason that I do that is, I don't want to sit and watch, a BP review that's, a guy bumping a ball, or maybe it's a swing that he didn't like, or a swing that, he was frustrated with, which is stuff that I do. So I edit that stuff out. I try to mainly focus on, getting to the point with the review, because just on the analytics and stuff that I see from the channel here, I can only maintain an audience as far as the videos for about 2.5 to 3 minutes, depending on, what the video is, I'm sure. But so I try and stay within that time frame. Sometimes I go over, sometimes I am a little short. I try not to go at least 2 minutes, because if not, I feel like I'm sitting there just, rambling everything out about the bat as fast as I can. But anyway, kind of back on topic there. I think I do just put a lot of pressure on myself to make the adjustment from ASA to U-Trip 1, and secondly being, try and like prove myself. It's like, oh, I'm the BP Hero. I got to go out here and hit 1,000. But I'm going to roll from one thing right into the other is, man, having good teammates can really, really make a big difference. I'm playing with practically a whole group of new guys. The only person I had personally ever met on my team was Dan Brugman. He's been a good buddy of mine a few years now. So, I mean, I was new to all these guys, and one thing that I really enjoyed, I will always give these guys credit for, is, they were right there, man, trying to pick me up and, hey, man, it's all right, keep swinging, we know you can hit your way out of this. And it just kind of made me realize, like, you know what, just relax. Like, a good teammate will pick you up. A good teammate will say, hey, just go get him next time, work on this, or, you don't need to make a bunch of changes. You just need to relax, or, maybe being someone that's watched a lot of my videos, they can look and see, like, dude, you're so far out in front of the ball. Sit back, let it come to you. And even, it was kind of nice. The softball community has been so good to me, especially in the St. Louis area. We're out there playing against some of my friends, and even they're like, hey, man, you just need to relax and hit a ball. We're playing against these guys. And that was kind of nice. And it did make me realize, like, dude, just chill out. Go up there and do your thing. When you've got teammates that are hounding on you, or, I've had remarks made to me before, stuff like, you take 5 rounds of BP a week, and why ain't you out here hitting? Or, you take all this BP and you get in a game and you don't do anything. Like, yeah, okay, that's true. I'm not, never once in any of this, like the BP Hero, like I kind of, as a joke, made my what do you call it? My alter ego, that whatever the name of all of this. There was no irony behind that. It's like, I can hit a great round of BP, and then when you can literally, I can walk off of the field from BP and go to a game, and honestly just feel like a fish out of water sometimes. And that was definitely the case this weekend. But having good teammates there to pick you up, support you a little bit, and hey, go get him next time. It's a bad swing. Don't worry about it. Don't let it bother you. Go back and get him again. Don't change bats. Don't do this. Don't do that. Just do you. And that was a big help for me in settling in. I'm not sure what I finished the day at batting average wise. I do not want to know. but I can tell you that we played 5 games. We went 3-2 on the day. I think we tied for 5th place out of 15 teams, I think. Somebody can probably correct me on that if they were there. But the hitting really came around towards the end of the day, so I was really relieved about that. I did end up pitching the later half of the day as well, which I think is something else that kind of helps me. It's a placebo effect thing. Like I know not to pat myself on the back, but I know I'm a decent pitcher. So if I'm not hitting, at least I know I'm still pitching well. So I think that kind of took some of the pressure off of me too, to maybe settle in at the plate. Because I mean, before I was playing first base, and decent first baseman, you stand there and catch a ball. It's not all that hard to an extent. But being out there and pitching, I was kind of like, all right, just chill out. At least if you're pitching well, you can take your pressure off yourself hitting, and it made a big difference for me. The good teammates obviously were huge. Bad body language towards players is something that can really crush someone that was kind of in my situation. I didn't see any of that, but I've been and seen in situations before where you may get guys that, complain about others behind their backs and stuff like that. I mean, it happens everywhere. It's slow pitch softball, a bunch of grown ass dudes all out there alpha mailing, it happens. But sometimes there's nothing more toxic to a team, especially when it comes to guys wanting to jump down people's throats or, hey, come on, get it together, things like that. I mean, if I just kick the ball in the infield or whatever I'm doing and you want to come out there and get on me personally, that's going to do nothing but frustrate me. And it sends a message to everybody around you, especially as a pitcher, which is something I've really, really, really drove home for myself, is you're the pitcher. All eyes are on you. So if you're reacting, if you're reacting negatively, if you're having a bad reaction, or if you're, getting on the teammates or yelling at umpires, like, you are the center of attention. Everybody sees you doing that stuff. It's toxic, short of it. I mean, some teammates can tune that stuff out, or like, oh, don't listen to that goon, or stuff like that. And that's fine. That's cool. More power to you for being able to do that. But bottom line is, people shouldn't be doing that. If outside looking in, that's my perspective on that. So, try and be positive. If you don't have anything to say, if you don't want to be an ass to someone, just walk away, because you saying something to them, sure, may make you feel better because you're getting your frustrations out, but you're bringing everybody else down with you. I don't know. End rant on that topic, I guess. I kind of got into the rant with that, which is something I try not to do when I do these solo podcasts, especially by myself, as I can catch myself ranting and being very opinionated. I struggle with that at time to time, but sorry, I'm going through some of these comments here just before I roll into the next topic. Dylan wants to know what bat I was swinging this weekend. Swinging the DeMarini standard issue. Been swinging that thing for a while now, and I do swing. Dalton Levitt wanted to know what I swing as far as ASA and U-Trip. We're fortunate enough in Missouri to be able to use U-Trip bats in ASA, so I use that standard issue for everything until it kicks the bucket. That's probably what I'm going to be swinging. But I did want to cover just a little bit of that before I, get into the next thing. I'm trying to keep up with the chat here a little bit, just kind of trying to juggle keeping up with the chat, because I see you guys pouring the messages in here. So I want to make sure I'm getting to those while I'm still maintaining topic of the podcast here. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about, we're kind of going from one thing to the other, is I've gotten a lot of messages. I don't know if it's just like the channel growing, or if it's just the off season, people are watching videos wanting to improve or whatever else. I've gotten a lot of questions about how to cut a softball. Hey man, I see you cut the ball a lot. What's your tips? I'm trying to learn how. Really the short of the long with cutting a softball, if it comes naturally, do it. Don't fight it. Don't force it. That is probably one of the worst things you can do, in my opinion, is just try and force cutting a softball. It can create a lot of Jordan says it's a curse. Absolutely, it's a curse. It can create a lot of bad habits. You've got to pitch. If you stop and think about it from a physics standpoint, most generally when you're cutting a softball, you're swinging down to create backspin on a ball. For those that don't know what that means, when you cut a softball, you're swinging down on the ball to create a line drive. That flat line drive that's going to get somewhere quick, not really be all that high in the air. I mean, it looks cool and it's awesome, and nothing feels better than hitting a ball, and knowing that you cut it well. And sometimes if you cut them right, they'll even kind of rise as they get through the infield and into the outfield. I mean, it's awesome. But you stop and break it down from like a physics standpoint and think like you've got a ball coming in on a downward arc, and you're swinging at a different angle than that bat is coming in. You've got to hit it perfectly. There's hardly any room for error. You've got to hit it perfectly, or like the guys in the chat here are saying, it's going to be a can corn for a pop-up, or it's going to be pounded straight into the dirt. And the other side of it too that Brett Helmer talked about in one of his he was calling one of the U-Trip games at the major, might have been last year. He was talking about it, as far as cutting the ball and doing things like that. I mean, you get to a certain level too, defenders are going to be good enough. Like you can cut a ball, you can hit a ball however hard you want, but if it's just a flat line drive that's right at somebody, I mean, if you get to the high D and into the C level, I mean, guys are just snapping that off. It's no big deal to them. And the other side of it too is balls carrying into the outfield. You're trying to split a gap, and you've put a ton of backspin on this ball, so it's hanging in the air. It's easy to get underneath and catch it. If the wind is blowing and all you know how to do is cut a softball, you're screwed, which is something that wreaked havoc with me for quite a while. Is cut. It used to be all my swing was built around cutting the ball. And if the wind's blowing in and you're cutting the ball, it's just going to shoot it straight up in the air, especially hitting a 52 core ball, which is a little bit lighter than a regular softball. I mean, it's just going to send it I'm not kidding you. There's times where I was like, all right, yeah, I cut that. It might get out of here. And dude, I mean, the outfielder has to run in to get it because it just shoots straight up in the air. I guess the final message is if you can cut a softball, let it come naturally. Don't force it. It's one of those things for me. Like, I don't know, my swing was so busted. I think I talked about it last podcast or at some point about going back. You can even go back on my channel. I have nothing to hide. I'm not out here trying to, make Team Resmondo or anything like that. I've got videos from when I first started posting videos. They're all on this channel. So if you want a good laugh when you get done here, go back and watch some of that stuff. And you can even laugh and comment on it if you want, because it's brutal. Absolutely brutal. I look at some of that stuff and I'm thinking like, what were you doing? What made you think that was a good idea? But my swing was so broken. I guess the downswing is just naturally what I had. And from there, as I learned how to strike a ball better, the striking of the ball is a big difference. As I learned how to strike a ball better, I learned, kind of the cut just started kind of showing up, and hitting more line drives and more line drives and more line drives. And then once I really started pounding home the tee work is really when the cut swing, I guess for me, really took off. And for a while there, it was nothing but seeds through the infield. I'm 250 plus pounds, bigger than that now. I'll be honest with you. I'm bigger than that now, but at the time I'm 250 plus pounds just trying to hit line drives through the infield. It's like, trying to be this base hitter guy. And, that's cool and all, because like what would happen is I'm trying to hit a ball into the gap or into the outfield somewhere. And, because of that no room for error thing, it's going to hang in the air to be caught, or, it's going to be pounded into the dirt. So, I think one thing that made a big difference for me was seeing, some of the St. Louis guys, you probably know who I'm talking about, Scott Stevens. Dude, you talk about cut a softball, and he is the one that made me realize you can cut a softball without chopping at it. It impressed me so much that Snacks says his ID says 200. You got that speed though, bro. But anyway, so Scott made me realize that you can cut a softball without chopping at it. It impressed me so much that His bat head was good and flat. His hands were strong through the ball, all the way through the ball, not just like a chop glancing blow kind of thing. And I mean, we were playing. It was cool outside. It was pretty dang cool. I mean, we're out there wearing hoodies and beanies and everything else. It was cold enough that night, but we're hitting 44s and the fences are like 270 with like a big net above it. And dude, I mean, he was hitting lasers, and like outfielders are like standing with their backs on the fence just trying to defend themselves. That's the guy hit the ball hard no matter what. But that's when it kind of came full circle to me. Like, there is more to cutting the ball than just tomahawking it. Because that's I think a big misconception with cutting is tomahawking. The best thing you can do is all the way through the ball, stay flat and through the ball. One thing that I really try and drive home when I go out and do my tee work sometimes, which is stuff I don't show in videos or anything like that, I'm going to have total control balls. I put them on the tee, and a total control ball is a great way to focus on really squaring a ball. It's all about striking the ball. Put a total control ball on the tee, and you're going to learn real quick if you're striking the ball well or not. And that's going to tell you what you need to know as far as what you need to improve on. For those that don't know what a total control ball is, they make them in different sizes. The ones I have are baseball size, just so they're easy to pack around. But they're baseball size. Just stick it on there and, just try and cut through them. The smaller they are, the easier they are to hit. I've hit some of the bigger ones. They are, there's no missing them. You either get all of it or you don't. The small ones are just a little bit forgiving. But the point is, striking a ball in general is going to make so much of a difference, whether you want to cut, whether you've got an upswing, whether you've got a downswing. So to me, I would focus more on that and let the cut come to you. Don't design your swing to cut, because it's going to do nothing but create bad habits. Cutting usually comes with a downswing. You're out on your front foot trying to get on top of a ball, which if you're out on your front foot, you can't rotate to hit a ball. So then that brings in a whole nother mechanical disadvantage, which is something that really held me back. If you go back and look at some of my videos, I'm so far out on my front foot, and that's what creates that habit that I know some people bring up in some of the videos sometimes is, your swing looks off or something doesn't look right. And it is just because I get so far out of my front foot, just out of habit from years ago. I still fight that stuff. To get out and chop at it, it's just a habit. It's one of those things that, that's why I do the tee work, just to kind of drive that stuff home and get it out of my system. But even the chop swing, I still catch myself chopping at stuff sometimes if I'm just trying to sneak a ball through the infield, to take a big chop and pound it into the earth. Let's see. Sorry, I got distracted here. I've got everything. I've got my dashboard pulled up for my YouTube here as I'm sitting here trying to talk. But long and the short, like I said, if you really want to learn how to cut a ball, my advice is, get you some total control balls, even like a flat soccer ball. Jordan Warren burning somebody. Man, that's a good clip, huh? So get it like even at like a flat soccer ball. When I'm talking flat, because a soccer ball will go, because it's a big rubber ball, no matter, unless you get it really, really flat. Like a flat soccer ball, a basketball, anything like that, or even go out and buy some total control balls. I like the total control balls because they still go a little ways, but when they hit the ground, they stop. So you're not chasing them all over the place. You can pack them in your bag. I'm actually debating, I'm moving to a roller bag this year, and I'm actually debating carrying, my tee breaks down. I've got a GT, and it breaks down to where I can basically just take the base and throw it in my bag, and the upper part of it could fit in one of the bat slots. I don't carry a lot of bats with me, so I could even do that, throw the total control balls in there just to kind of feel like what it feels like to square a ball up. Ball striking is the key no matter what kind of swing you need to have. Bottom line. Orange Chowda, he keeps asking about the Anarchy Phantom. Haven't touched one, dude. I'm sure I will at some point, but I haven't yet. This isn't even on my list of things to talk about, but if you guys are listening, and maybe are the ones that ask the questions, or just for future reference, anything that I have reviewed is going to be on the channel. I get messages, what do you think about this bat, or what do you think about that bat? Like, if I've swung it, I'm going to put the review on the channel, because it does me no good to swing a bat and then just hold that to myself. I'm here to review bats for you guys, and me swinging a bat and not filming it, or, filming it and not doing anything with it, it'd be counterproductive. So if I've swung a bat, the review is going to be on the channel. If it's not on there, I haven't swung it yet. Just, throwing that out there. I get a lot of those messages, especially as the channel has grown, and I don't mind. Some people just don't realize it, but for the small group here that are watching and whoever's going to watch this later, if it is on the channel, then I have reviewed it. If it's not, then I haven't. It's just that simple. J-Mag, listen to me. The Mag, JC33, which is my man Jordan. He was actually on one of the podcasts last season. He says, you can't cut a total control ball. I've tried. Well, I guess technically you can't, because it'll just turn into a big oblong egg-looking thing. But if you can square up that total control ball, you'll be able to cut the crap out of softball when you get done. And Big Daddy says, I'd rather be able to place the ball than cut the ball anyway. And yes, there is that to it as well. That's another thing that cutting kind of gets you in trouble with is, man, it leaves you pretty limited on what you can do with the ball, especially if you're trying to inside out a ball or place a ball. Not only now are you focused on making sure you get that perfect strike on the ball because you're chopping at it. You're chopping at you're taking that downswing on a ball that's coming in from a higher arc. So you've got to hit it perfect there, and then you've got to be able to hit it, strike the ball where you need to be able to place it too. Man, what a mess. What a mess. DJ J. Rich, into my 5th season of softball. Your channel has been so helpful. Thank you, brother. Keep it up. Hey, man, glad to help. This is nothing but a hobby for me, and you guys have been along for the ride, and I absolutely love it. You guys are awesome, and is part of the reason this channel has grown to what it is now. Dalton Levitt wants to know, do I ever get up to Indiana for tournaments? No. I've played maybe 5 out-of-state tournaments in my entire life. I don't mind traveling to play softball, but I'll be 100% honest. I'm just not really the caliber to waste my time traveling. So one other thing I want to talk about, I know I kind of touched on this earlier, why having, and I put in air quotes, the hottest bat doesn't matter. I get a lot of these messages too. What's the hottest bat out there? And I'll ask, you swing an ASA or U-trip? I can hit whatever. Okay. What do you usually play? Well, I play U-trip, but, I wouldn't mind having an ASA bat. So why are you buying the ASA bat if you play U-trip? Let's get you a U-trip bat. Okay, well, I'll swing whatever. Just what's the hottest bat? No, that's not how it works. It's not what's the hottest bat. What do you usually swing? Well, I swing something balanced, but I'll swing whatever. Again, missing the point. The point is, it doesn't matter how hot a bat is. It's got to work for you. And if you are a balanced guy because you like the control, or you like the extra whip or whatever it may be, and you're going to an end load, that could wreak havoc with you. Or if you like a light bat and you're wanting to try something heavier, all that stuff can mess you up. So having the hottest bat isn't the big thing. It drives me nuts. You've got to have what works for you. If somebody puts in front of me, say a DC 41. Sorry, God, I'm so bad at reading these comments. So say somebody puts in front of me a DC 41 and then a Easton Octane, which I believe is balanced. And, we're talking big, you got 2 big barrels, balancing and load. And then we're going to go with like a last year's EST comp balance, which is a short barrel balanced. And then like something like a Freak 30 short barrel in load. There's so many variables there. So right there, just off the top, you've got 4 different combinations of, what may work for you or what may not. Like, I'm not going to recommend to you what I like, because what if it's not what you like? And then I've done that before. It's what I used to do was, hey man, I'm looking for the hottest bat out there. What do you think I should get? Well, I really like Freak 30. So grab yourself a Freak 30. Well, then I get people, coming back on me and saying, oh, well, I hate this Freak 30. Well, I don't even, what else would you try? Well, I mean, I just told you the bat to try and you didn't like it. That is why the hottest bat doesn't matter. And then you try to explain it to some people and they just don't care. But, and I think some people think I dance around the question too of, when I ask them, end loaded or balanced and big barrel, short barrel, and what kind of fits for you. But to those people that are listening or that have asked that question or needing to know that question, Jack, I hate you. Wanting to know that question. If you like a bounce bat, don't buy an in-load. It's that simple. And as far as U-Trip stuff goes, the last 2 years of U-Trip, it's all been ridiculous good. Like I started off the last year. I know some of you guys probably noticed. I started off last year putting bats on the radar and doing the tee work with them and hitting them off the radar. But I quickly realized no matter the brand, I shouldn't say no matter the weight, but no matter the brand, they were all hitting mid to upper 90s. And if 2 miles an hour of exit speed is going to make or break you, you've got bigger problems. Your focus is not what it should be on. So, that right there told me, like I said, many bats from different brands, even considering balance and in-load, they were all right there, mid 90s, even a few in the 97, 98 range. But there were so many that were so good, you can't pinpoint just one. And I feel like it's a loaded statement. I even had a guy say to me one time, because I said that. I said, there's so many that, goddamn, I'm just going to minimize this so I quit looking at it. You all are sitting here arguing about cutting a softball and I want to get in the middle of it, but I'm in the middle of a topic. But anyway, there's so many bats that are so good. You just need to pick what works for you. And the guy says, well, that's, a way to dance around the question. I just needed an answer. I'm trying to buy a bat and I just don't want to buy a turd. Whatever, dude. Then I guess I know it's, give me your money and I'll buy a bat for you, I guess. It's kind of a frustrating thing to deal with. But like I said, it all comes with the territory. I don't mind answering questions for you guys. I really like that you guys reach out to me and ask questions. Because sometimes, I don't know the answer. Maybe it's not specs of a bat or this or that or whatever else. Maybe it's something more detailed. It gives me an opportunity to learn too, which is something I try and pass on as I do. But, back on topic with, the hottest bat stuff, you also can't expect the bat to do the work for you. You can have, say, we're going from maybe a different tier of bats. Yes, sir, there are tiers of bats. That's not to say that every bat is great. You've got like your upper tier of bats, which are like all of your two-piece worst and your Micans. And, your Eastons are going to be in there too. And a handful of the D-Marinis. There's a few good ones and there's a few bad ones. I'm sure if you guys pay attention to the videos, you probably saw my review on the BJ Folk. There's maybe some people that like that bat. I did not. So that's a perfect example right there of what may work for you and not for me. But bottom line is you can't let the bat do the work for you, which I think is something else that's also been expected. I think that's why people buy bats based on hype. I made that question that I posted on Facebook it was last weekend. It was last weekend. And I posted that question on Facebook. What bat got you on the hype? What sucked you in with the hype? And I guess the idea behind that is, this bat is so great, so great, so great, and you get it and you hate it. That's a prime example right there of why the bat can't bail you out. You still got to be able to swing it, which I guess, Jack, I hate you, dude. But it all goes back to like I said earlier with striking a ball. You can have the hottest bat in the world, but if you ain't hitting the ball well, it don't matter what you're swinging. That's why you see teams. Ooh, almost put myself stepped in a bucket there. I'm gonna go ahead and back off of that one. But anyway, bottom line is you've got tiers of bats. You've got like your DC 41s. Your ESTs and your Jason Branches and your Brett Helmer blue lines and all that kind of stuff. Those are going to be your top tier bats. And then you've got stuff like the Eastern Ronin, which is comparable to, I think, what would now be the Salvo. You've got stuff like the Mike and One Piece Psychos and, bats like that. Those are good, but not mind blowing. They're not going to be to that same level of performance, which is also why they're a lot more affordable. They're going to be, the one-piece bats. And, again, that's not to say I'd really like to put some of that stuff on the radar because that is stuff that I haven't done. Maybe compare, like, the one-piece Psycho or whatever it is to, like, a two-piece which would be comparable. I think they make the Psychos in a max load and in a balance. Maybe you do that with some of the like the upper tier bats, whatever the primos would be. I guess the balance primo and the max load primo, just to see the difference. I have swung this year's max load U-Trip Psycho, the one piece, and it wasn't too bad. I mean, you could, if you're just league guy playing like once or twice a week, be a decent bat for you. But I can tell you right now, I would totally take the better bat. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter. Like I could get by gaming that Psycho, but I would feel at a disadvantage. Man, you guys are going nuts in this chat here. I'm about to just ignore all of you, especially Jack. Can I mute you? Can I click on this? Remove, put user in timeout. Dude, I'm about to put you in timeout, bro. You don't even know. Man, you guys are getting into this cut thing. I'll say that, though. You're cracking me up. Jack. Yeah, Jim Peterson also brings up a good point. Sorry, that is one very good point I actually forgot to write down. I was working on this stuff at work and forgot to write that down. Something else to also consider when it comes to buying a bat that also doesn't have to be the hottest is factor in durability, compression issues into that as well. Do you play somewhere that tests a lot? Do you take a lot of BP? Do you only plan on buying one bat? Especially when it comes with U-Trip, you're pretty much screwed. I don't think there's really anything out there from U-Trip that's durable, that's going to hold compression. Now, ASA, you do have a few options, especially because you're really getting into hitting different types of balls. Some places you can play ASA and still hit a harder ball, or some places you can play ASA and God, what the hell? Got a dog trying to barge in the room here. So sometimes you can play ASA and hit a harder ball. Sometimes you play ASA and hit a 52. Sometimes you play somewhere that uses both. You got to have options there, especially when it comes to ASA bats and the hard ball. I'm not going to sit here and make like a list of suggestions, but if I'm hitting a hard ball and I need something that's going to last, I'm probably going with an Anarchy or maybe one of the old Boombah T3s. Those are both, especially the T3. Those things can take a beating when it comes to hitting with a harder ball. I believe Nick, who's blowing up the chat here about cutting a softball, he's actually got the T3 that I did my original review on. And, dude, we've hit that thing with everything. It's got, probably, he said, I think around 700 swings on it now. We hit 575s. We hit Classic M's. We hit BP Rockets. It takes it all. And that's an example of, where something, you need to consider durability, compression in there as well. I do wish that U-Trip, as far as like the manufacturers go, like Easton used to be really good at making bats. Yes, they are not as good as what they are now. There's no doubt about that. When you're talking like the 15s, unless you put 5,000 swings on one, but it'd also be nice to have a bat that you can go out and BP and hit and do that kind of thing with. The market for the older bats has kind of came back just based on guys wanting something to last or something that's more durable. Even, guys that test a lot and still want to be able to have a bat to BP game, with a hard ball and even BP with a hard ball. The market for the older bats is kind of starting to come back a little bit, like the 13 Eastons and that kind of thing. So I think that's definitely something that's got to be considered there as well. Oh, Fishbrat wants to know who's got the old Sonic Plus. Gabe has actually got the Sonic Plus, and I think it might be close to the end. And the crazy thing is, it's not even the barrel that's close to the end. That thing's probably got to have, close to probably 2,500 swings on it now, and it's just ridiculous good. It still passes compression, but Gabe let somebody borrow it. They hit a ball with it. Wasn't there the at bat? I don't know what the exact details. The at bat didn't go the way they wanted it to go. Took it by the barrel, smashed the knob into the ground just out of frustration, not thinking, and the knob is actually, all jacked up on it now. The knob and the handle are both molded together, and the knob is about to fall off of it. I don't know what to do. We've tried taping it. We've tried taping it and then putting a knob cuff on it and then taping it up just to keep the knob from wiggling, which The Worth and Mike and stuff, you've got the typical knob wobble there that I'm sure you guys know about. It's like way bad. Like you swing it, and as it turns in your hand, you can feel the knob separate from the handle. So that's a pretty sad situation there. God, I love that bat. That thing was so much fun. David Menace, any suggestions on a good inload bat to buy? I don't know if you've been listening to the last 10 minutes of conversation here. Worth, Mike, and Easton, big barrel, short barrel, find something and grab it, dude. I mean, they all cost about the same as long as you go to the right place. They're all going to perform damn near the same. Go out, grab you something, enjoy it. I hate to be, like I just talked about, I hate to be vague with that answer, but that's really the short of it these days. U-trip bats are all really good. So, like I said, you've got stuff like the Easton Helmer, you got the Resmondo, you've got the Fab 14 for the Mikens and the Worst, you've got the DC 41, you've got the Primos, and then for the Worth, you've got the Jason Branch, you got the Ryan Harvey, you got the Purcell. So I think the Wicked Harvey, Wicked Purcell, stuff like that. So you've got tons of options there. So that's my suggestion. I know it's kind of vague, but yeah, that's what I've got to say about that. Seth, I thought the Marine putty might do it some good, but the thing is, it needs to come off in order to be re-glued. That's the problem with the knob on the Sonic. It just needs to be re-glued. But I am all over the place here. I do need to figure something out because I did have one more thing I wanted to talk about with this hottest bat thing. I believe it was my man Jamie. Came up. I was talking to Jamie Baker. He was saying it's the Indian, not the arrow, kind of thing. And when it comes to these hot bats, like it doesn't matter how hot the bat is. It's got to be the person swinging it. Sure, but the thing is too is like bats are way better than they used to be. And the quote that he used was basically, yes, it is the Indian and not the arrow, but if the arrows were as good now as they were back then, there'd be a lot more dead pilgrims. And that is 100% true. Bats are definitely way better than they used to be, but it still comes down to the man swinging it. Let's see. So one other thing I do want to talk about. I am done with my topics. I'm going to kind of ramble here for just a minute. So if you guys want to check out, you can. If not, you can start firing away with a little bit of questions and things like that. I came a little unprepared. I need to find a couple of pictures here so I can show you guys. We've actually got some swag coming soon. Let's see if I can get this pulled up. I shouldn't say coming soon. It's actually available. I just need to get the time to get everything set up for you guys so you can get the links in order to buy. I have gone and went to a place called Teespring. It's kind of an outsourcing place for t-shirts. You can basically create a design and put it on there, and you can sell them individually or sell them by the bunches. I would love to be able to stock t-shirts and just sell them as people order them, but the hat experiment was why I didn't really get full on with the t-shirts. I understand we're talking a difference in hats and t-shirts, but when I first rolled out the debut of the hats, the way they went well, they were selling well, but I haven't sold a hat in probably coming up on 3 months now. So that was kind of telling me maybe stocking t-shirts wouldn't be all that great of an idea, especially when it comes to t-shirts. You've got a lot of different sizes you would need to carry too. So what I ended up doing was going to Teespring, which is basically, like I said, an outsourced place. You guys can order directly through them to get the t-shirts that you need. I've actually got a BP Hero Podcast t-shirt, and I'm also going to be rolling out the hoodie, which I realize hoodie season is almost over, so that is partially my fault. But if you like hoodies, please just buy a stinking hoodie. Go ahead and get this picture pulled up for you here so you guys can see this. Come back and see what this chat's blowing up about, because you guys are a bunch of goons. I should stock jock straps with my logo. Only if you wear nothing but the jock strap. I'll even pay for it. I'll pay for it, send it to you, but you got to wear nothing but the jock strap. Don't need pictures. Trust me, I don't. All right, so let me switch screens here after I get this other one pulled up. I also am taking, open for suggestions on, the beanies are another thing. I tried rolling out the beanies to see how they would go. I think I sold one. I ordered 8, and I've sold 1. I thought the beanies would kind of be a hit with the wintertime being here, but it seemed to kind of be a flop. I don't know if maybe I waited too late in the year or what the deal was with that. I also haven't promoted them very much either, which is partially my fault. So, nonetheless, let's get you. Oh, God, you're ugly. Hey. So, what we got here is on Teespring, we got the BP Hero hoodie. Now, these are both cotton shirts. It's a cotton hoodie. I like dry fit just as much as the next guy, but sometimes I just get tired of having dry fit shirts. Like I've got a closet full of ball jerseys that are all dry fits, whether it be full dyes or sub dyes like the BP Hero shirts. But sometimes I just want something cotton. I don't want to feel, maybe it's because of my body type. Yes, I'm fat, whatever. Or maybe it's just my body type or, maybe it happens to everybody. But sometimes dry fits just freaking clingy. And I just want to be comfortable in a cotton t-shirt. So what I've got here is the BP Hero hoodie, $30. All you have to do is go onto the site here. I'll be sure and link it in probably the comments and the description below. And I'm going to try and share this on the Facebook page when I get done here as well. So it's cotton, just like a regular, I believe Gildan is the brand of these particular hoodies. Just a regular cotton hoodie with the screen printed logo on it. Nice, simple, clean. They're nice and warm. Be good for these good spring nights when it's still cool outside. And then I also have the BP Hero Podcast t-shirt. Again, 100% cotton t-shirt, nothing fancy. Just wanted something simple, clean, and just wasn't the same design that I had kept coming up with that you guys are used to seeing with the pre-ordered dry fit shirts that I've been doing. I am going to try and roll out a couple more designs, but I don't want to get too carried away with the cotton t-shirts. I need to figure out a way to Teespring doesn't offer anything like a dry fit shirt. Maybe I could outsource somewhere else and get some of those just to kind of order on demand until, sales kind of take off. And I don't mind stocking a little bit of this or that. But I'll be pretty sure to put the links to this in the description of the podcast when I'm done. And I'll tag them in the comments below for you guys that aren't seeing all these live comments and everything else. But got some t-shirts here, so be sure to jump over there and get those. I do believe, let's get you guys some additional information here. Please allow 3 to 6 business days for shipping. And if you place your order now, it will be shipped on or before April 19th. That is the only downside to this, and I do want it to be known, is, they do these on demand. So it's not like they're going to drop everything they're doing and print one shirt. So it may take them a couple of days to print the shirt, and then they will ship it out. Not ideal, but, I'm trying to get some swag out for you guys and at least let you something to enjoy. So until, your boy blows up and can stock stuff, these are your options. So again, we got the BP Hero Podcast t-shirt. Just want to do something a little different there. And then BP Hero kind of throwback logo there on the hoodie. The hoodies are very comfortable. The t-shirts, cotton, great, nice, simple, subtle, just the way I like it. Big Daddy says, hoodie season is year-round. Bro, where you live at? I don't know that hoodie season is year-round. Ouch. Also, one other thing I can't do is wear a hoodie all the time. Like, my son, dude, it'd be 85 degrees outside, and he's trying to wear a hoodie. I'm like, dude, you're insane. I just realized you guys are... I forgot to take my screen capture off here. So, yeah, this is what I'm looking at. You guys are sitting here blowing this comment section up. Just so I'm sitting here reading this stuff, trying to make sure I'm not missing anything and trying to talk, and you guys are getting me all distracted. But nonetheless, I have enjoyed this. I will say for sure. I do like doing these. Obviously, now I know I need to kind of not pay attention to the chat as much as I have been because it gets me distracted and I kind of get all scatterbrained and squirrely and that kind of thing. But unless you guys got any questions, I'll let you kind of fire away here for a second, and then I'm probably just going to shut her down. The beer koozie is a good idea. Oh my God, why is it doing that? What? Oh, anyway. So yeah, the beer koozie actually is a good idea. I like that idea. That's something that we could definitely consider looking into doing in the future. I could probably even carry those because, God, they got to be cheap to print, right? Let's see. I think we're just going to go back to this for now. So one other thing I do want to work on, I'm just going to kind of ramble here for a minute until I get some questions here to answer. One other thing I want to work on, I know that it does kind of suck to sit here and just look at basically just the BP Hero Podcast thumbnail while I'm podcasting, but to me, this is just a lot easier setup. I don't have to go drag anything out just to be able to podcast, so you guys can, look at me and not stare at the pink curtains in my daughter's bedroom. But one thing I do want to work on is maybe like a little bit of a slideshow. Maybe kind of show you what's coming next. Yeah. See Jason Lawrence right there. Next bat review. And I could kind of show you guys what I've got slated, because there is stuff that I have. Yes, I'm kind of contradicting myself. There is stuff that I have recorded, but I haven't posted yet. But for me to record a review and then tell you all about a bat kind of defeats the purpose of me recording the video if I'm going to tell you how it is without posting the video. So, if I've got stuff recorded, I do right now. I could go ahead and, tell you guys what's coming next to give you a general idea. And I'm kind of working on doing some more just kind of random tidbit videos. I'm working on that swing video just to kind of show you, where the swing has evolved from. Let's see, actually, if I can get my computer to play some of that without having a nuclear meltdown. Boys, I'm telling you, it is bad. So I'll bring this over here. Second screen. Man, I'm so telling on myself here, and I don't even care. So we're going clear back to, what is this? May of 2012. Oh, shush. Going clear back to May of 2012. If I can get this drug over there. May 2012 with this little tidbit here, boys. This is bad. I'm going to talk about this in the video that I do. And, yoy, look at that. Hey, that guy was a lot lighter, though. That's, again, a terrible swing. It was bad. I thought I hit that ball well. That's why I left it in there. And he got a bump in there. Dude going crazy right now. So that's that's May of 2012. We could even just skip forward. I don't want to spoil the complete video. We could even skip forward to about a year from then. Go with June of 2013. Why does it not play over there? Bear with me here, guys. Because what I'm going to do is, as I figure out different things with the swing and, kind of learning what works for me, and like I said earlier, striking the ball and doing better with that was kind of the evolution of, things that came different. So we got June of 2013 here. Getting a little better, and not so squirrely now. Striking the ball a little bit better, but again, we're back to chopping. You just chop at everything, right? Just chop, chop, chop. If you hit it, you hit it. If you don't, you don't. Like that ball went out of the ballpark, and it was just supposed to. I was actually trying to hit this guy that's standing here at shortstop. I was trying to hit him some hard balls to field, and I completely derped on it and hit it out of the ballpark. So that's real cool. Then let's go forward another year, 2014. So then once you get to a certain point, the swing kind of stays about the same. Hey, there we go. So here we're doing better at getting through a ball. Look at that. He even took a little bit of an upswing to that ball, drove it out of the ballpark. Another one there. It's not so much the dramatic chop anymore. Still striking the ball well. God dang, that dude is bald. So that it's just kind of I guess I could have used this as a good example earlier too, while I was sitting here talking about the cut swing. Just to show you guys, like, it is okay to, swing flush. And I even saw the comment that you can cut the ball while swinging up. Cut just means apply backspin. Cut doesn't mean flat line drive. People associate it with that, but it's not what it means. Then here, oh, that's not it. Looking for a specific video here. So I need to find, so it was here. I was talking about Scott Stevens earlier. And, you know, God, what, my stuff's all jacked up. That ain't right either. Here it is. So I was talking about him and, him, being flat and getting through the ball. And that's kind of when I kind of took the different approach here and just tried to stay flat through the ball. Yeah, I'm still striking down on these a little bit, but the bat head is a lot flatter than it was and applying a ton of spin on these balls. So that's a good example right there. Like that swing right there, it's flat, it's through the ball, and you obviously see a dramatic difference as opposed to just like a line drive that may just sneak through the infield. And the same thing there. Yes, that's hanging in the air, but that is a well-struck ball. I actually had somebody comment on this video. Yeah, Combat Wanted is what this is. This is a 28-ounce Wanted 2013 model. Obviously, you can tell by the year. I was actually trying to break this bat. It was ASA only, had a terrible disc rattle, and was hitting, I think it's like 47 and 48 core balls, just trying to get this thing to break so I could return it, and it would not give up the ghost. I think the end cap and finally ended up flying out of it. But yeah, it's a prime example right here of just, getting through the ball. Getting through the ball is so much more important than taking a big dramatic chop at it, which, you can look back at some of my videos. I still do now, but T-work in a perfect world, that's a laser right there. A T-work in a perfect world, you wouldn't do things like that. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on the thumbnail. Just going to wrap these up here. You guys are kind of firing away. Jordan wants to know, what is my favorite beer? Definitely got to be either Michelob Golden Light or Michelob Pure Gold is very good as well. I said Golden Light Pure Gold, I think is what it is. It is very good. I mean, this is by far the smoothest beer I've ever had. Randy Ricks, play girls on trampolines in the video while you talk. Boy, if only. My wife would probably kill me, though. Anyway, real talk. Jason Lawrence wants to know when the next bat review is. Probably going to be later this week, maybe like Saturday or Sunday-ish. I'm trying to keep them spread out so I don't post everything and then run out of content until I can get more filmed. Jason Lawrence, advice for cutting balls. Backspin tee. I think the backspin tee is kind of a gimmick, honestly. Maybe good for a baseball player, but in my opinion, for a softball player, not all that beneficial. And to me, I don't know, maybe it's just like a mental block, but you stick the ball up in the tee and really all you see is the part of the ball. Yes, you're supposed to be striking, but to me, that's weird. Like, I want to see the ball completely to know where I'm striking the ball at. But advice on cutting a ball, do tee work, hit total control balls off the tee, and work on striking the ball flush. Don't chop at it. Do not chop. Matt C wants to know, do I prefer a short or long barrel? I do prefer short barrels. The DeMarini standard issue that I'm swinging right now, I guess it's kind of in between. It's a 13-inch, but in a perfect world, I'm for sure going with a 12-inch barrel. I even had a couple combats back in the day that were, the Antivirus was one of them. That was an 11-inch barrel. Absolutely loved that bat. Not so much the Bubba Club, though. I'm sure that'll get brought up. We're talking about short barrels. The Bubba Club was a 10-inch barrel, and I think I would have benefited in going with a 27-ounce with that, just to see how good it would have worked for me. But it just didn't jive with me. But long or the short, I do prefer short barrel inloads. Now, if I am going to swing a bounce bat, which sometimes I get the wild hair at my butt to do, I do like a long barrel when it comes to a balanced bat. I can't get down with the balanced short barrel. Fish Brat wants to know, do I advise eating fast food for breakfast before a tournament? Perfect world? Absolutely not. No way. There is no way. That is not a good idea at all. But I have been known to do it. Big Daddy wants to know what it's like to accidentally hit a dinger. It's cool the first couple times, and then you get to a certain point where maybe you're out of home runs, or maybe you just used the last home run on a solo, and you feel like an asshole. Oop, sorry, kid-friendly show. You feel like a jerk. Jack Smith said, I saw a guy swinging an OG Avarice the other day, shed a tear. Dude, no doubt. That one you sent me, it blew up whenever that video was I made. I kept that thing in the garage until about 2 weeks ago. I cleaned the garage out and finally threw it away. I shed a tear when I threw it out. Jordan says, can't wait to hang out with you someday. Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like you and this basketball stuff during the wintertime, man, it's really cramping my style. I'm not about that life. You need to be more convenient for me, please and thanks. We need to do that get together soon. I got all kinds of new bats we can swing, do dope stuff, right? But you guys are getting quiet. I need to get going actually and get some stuff done. I'm sitting here rambling. You guys have been listening to me for over an hour, and I do greatly appreciate it. One favor I do have to ask. Real quick. Joe Calvo wants to know, is my standard issue my gamer? Yes, it is. I swing it everywhere. Until it blows, that's what I'm swinging. Yeah, I know you do. I know you do, Snacks. I know you have a line on some OG Avarices. I've actually messaged him, and communications kind of went cold. I told him to get back with me on a price on a couple of them a while back, and he never messaged me back, which is probably for the better. The last thing I need is a bunch of bats on my hands. The thing with it is like that's another reason why, I think everybody thinks that, I'm the BP Hero. I swing all these bats. I've got all these bats. Like I've got like 85 bats. No, I mean, really, I've only got 3 bats in my bag right now, and that's pretty much the bats that I own, minus the craze tip. If you're listening, I know Snacks knows what I'm talking about. I actually did a video on that craze. It's somewhere on the channel. Thing's got a gajillion hits on it, all been hit off of one side. The taper's cracked. It's got a big crack down the middle of the barrel. It's sitting in the garage, but outside of that, I've only got 3 bats, and technically one of those isn't even mine. I've got a Flipper OG, 2016 Flipper OG, which is a rocket launcher, and sorry, I'm reading again, which is a rocket launcher. It's just kind of riding around in the bag until who owns it wants it back. Then I've got the Easton Wildfire Flex, which is going to be riding around with me for a while. Probably going to see about snagging one of those from softball fans, because right now that one is theirs. I would like to have it to game if and when the standard issue gives out, but I have the DeMarini standard issue. That's my gamer. It's what I swung last weekend, and that's what I'm going to swing for everything until it goes. The barrel on that thing is just ridiculous right now. But the reason that, kind of getting back to what I was saying to Snacks there with having a bunch of bats on hand, I've got those 3 bats. Like if I get a couple Avarices, I get them out, get to swinging them, get to grooving with them, and then it becomes a head case. Like, do I swing the Avarice or do I swing the standard issue? Do I swing the Wildfire? Do I swing this? Do I swing that? So I just keep it simple. I keep a gamer and a backup. Nice, simple, simplistic. Because I actually think I might have been in the market for a gamer at the time when I was messaging him, and he never got back to me. So it's probably for the better, because otherwise I'd probably own like 5 Avarices. Dalton Levitt, a lot of people probably don't thank you enough, but thanks for putting in the time and provide all the info we all look for and a good laugh. Man, I appreciate it. This is nothing but a hobby for me, and I love that you guys enjoy it, because like right now I'm just sitting here rambling. I mean, I got 30 people just sitting here listening to me ramble in reply to these comments, but sitting here talking for an hour and you guys are still here. That's awesome. You guys are the best. I couldn't ask for a better audience. And I think that's one thing, not to get down the Fortnite rat hole, but, I do watch a lot of Fortnite. I play a lot of Fortnite, and, one of the content creators on there was saying, it's all about the audience that you have. It's about building a good audience. You don't want a toxic audience. You don't want a bad audience. The audience makes a channel, and you guys have definitely done that. You guys always chiming in the comments, and you got questions, and just sitting here like this. I'm sitting here talking, and you guys are dropping comments and having conversation, and this is awesome. This is so much more than I could have ever dreamed of. When I first was like, I told my wife, I said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I think I'm going to do it about softball. And she just kind of looked at me like I had a third eye. And now it's kind of funny now because like we go to the ballpark. She hates going to the ballpark with me because it's one of those things where I can't just walk through the ballpark and not talk to somebody, whether it's somebody I know, because I've built a huge community of friends through this softball stuff, which is also something that I'm forever thankful for. I've met friends that don't even play softball anymore that I'm still friends with. I mean, even some people that I haven't even met in person, just, built a relationship with them through softball, through YouTube and Facebook and softball fans and everything else. Even met a bunch of guys from softball fans, guys I never met in my life. We all got together. There was 11 guys from 8 different states that got together to play softball. I mean, what kind of world are we living in that you can get that stuff done? This community has been awesome for me. So thank you guys so much. You don't understand what it means, guys reaching out to me, wanting to send me bats and even like the thing with softball fans. So fortunate to be able to be a part of that. And without you guys, I wouldn't be able to get that done either. Yeah, Snack says, yeah, he'll help me out. Give him the wildfire so you're not tempted. Yeah, I bet that would be convenient for you, wouldn't it? When are you playing again? I know we're playing in BMAC next week. Yeah, next weekend, not this weekend. This weekend is Fenton, and I'm not going to that. Actually, I think they're not either. I'm sure you probably know the down low on that. I'm not going to blab all that on here. But, yeah, so I will be at BMAC next weekend. Are you guys going to be out there? If you are, I'll totally give it to you and let you swing it. It's kind of funny. The thing's only got like 50 swings on it. And I had a guy asking me, he's like, hey, man, he's like, you got anything heavier? All these guys got us 26s. Like, well, I got this 27.5 Wildfire Flex. You can swing it if you want. I didn't really tell him, hey, it's only got 50 swings on it because, I knew it was hitting well. And his first swing he hit a bomb at BMAC into the wind. So I thought that was kind of cool. So, I mean, it's a good one. So if you want to try it out, just hit me up and I'll get it to you. Oh, yeah. So you're playing at Kiwanis. I figured that's what you were going to do. So you all are taking the Dad Bods team? Is that the name of that team you take going up to the Corkies to do that? I would like to go to the Corkies. I see Evan Schrader said that, come to Corkies. That is one thing that switching jobs a couple years ago kind of set me back on is being able to travel. I would love to travel, go to some of these tournaments that people talk about, or even, get together and, play with some of you guys. Like maybe, do like a subscriber tournament or, like, hey, I'm going to be at this tournament. Guys, come hang out or, just set something up to where we could all get together. I think that would be awesome. Switching jobs, losing a ton of vacation. I had 4 weeks of vacation and a bunch of, personal holidays and all kinds of stuff. Switching jobs kind of really set me back on that. I'm back to 2 weeks of vacation, a handful of personal holidays, and, I guess you can't have it all because a normal job is so good. I'm working midnights, but I don't even care. So that kind of holds me back with that. But eventually the plan would be to do like some subscriber tournaments and something to at least appreciate you guys a little bit for everything you've done for me. But I think we're going to wrap it up there, guys. The chat's kind of slowing down. I do need to get going. I got some stuff I need to get done around the house before I got to go to bed. This midnight thing kind of messes up my sleep schedule a little bit. Basically, I come home, do what I need to do, stuff like this, and then try and be in bed around 11 o'clock. The kids come home at 5 o'clock, and there's no sleeping when they get home. So that's my opportunity to sleep until 5 o'clock. And then get up and go to work that night, stay up and then hang out with the kids and the family and the wife, and then go to work that night and do it all over again. So I got some stuff I need to get done. Anyway, I know I've said it a 1,000 times, it feels like, in this podcast, but I can't. I'd say it 1,000 more times if I had time. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you for stopping in and checking this out. I do have one favor to ask. If maybe you're coming over from Facebook, because I did post this over there, or maybe if you just knew that I was going to be live, however, or stumbled across it live and got the notification, just make sure you subscribe to the channel and you got the notifications on. Going through some of my analytics and stuff, I'd show it to you but I can't do that without showing a bunch of other information. A lot of my views, I think like 60% of my views come from non-subscribers, and I understand that it's just people looking for bat reviews, and maybe not all of them are going to stick around, but I do know that there's people that just search the BP Hero and they want to keep up with the content. It'd be so much easier. Just hit that subscribe button, turn on them notifications, boom, you're done. I'm going to go ahead and shut this podcast down, though, guys. Really appreciate you stopping in. I'm going to get those shirt links in the description and the comments down below for this video when it ends up getting published. I'll see you guys later. BP Hero is out of here.